Pals podcast, where the proof is in the pudding. Today, we are at the second part of our special two-part episode. We just heard last week from Alexis in Progress, about her journey and my pal's journey on GLPs. But today, we're going to hear from Dr. Spencer Nadolski, who is a board-certified physician and specializes in weight loss and weight loss tools, to give us some actual medical advice. So let's bring him in.
So we don't dose ourselves. Okay?
Yeah. So let's bring him in.
Let's bring him in.
Welcome to the Pudding Pals podcast.
Dr. Nadolski, thank you so much for joining the Pudding Pals podcast. This has been a very requested interview, so we're so excited to have you.
Perfect. Thanks for having me on.
We're so excited to meet you.
Let's introduce everyone on the couch.
Oh, yeah. This is Rachel.
Also from Michigan.
This is I'm Jordyn. This is Jordyn.
I'm Danielle, Steph, Heather.
Hi. And we're gonna get into it, Dr. Nadolski. So for those who don't know yet, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you into obesity medicine?
Yeah, I was grew up in a academically, athletically minded family. Used nutrition, exercise, science to get good at sports. Did well in collegiate sports, wrestling and football. Then went to med school and really wanted to use like exercise, nutrition, science to help people get better in their lives. I didn't really care about improving people's bench press from like 300 to 400 pounds. I was more interested in getting people to start working out. So ended up going to residency, which is the training after med school. The whole system's kind of archaic. Everybody's kind of been through it, where you get like 5 to 10 minutes with a doctor. Even if the doctor wanted to do lifestyle medicine and therapy, it's just not even, you can't even do it because of the system. So I basically got out of the system, really was into lifestyle obesity medicine, and cardiometabolic health is what it's kind of called. Started doing telemedicine, where it's kind of direct care. People, it's not concierge care where I charge like thousands of dollars, but it's like $150 a month. But we don't take insurance at all, and so it allows me to do really good care, helping people lose weight, get healthier, and improving their quality of life. So that's the gist of it.
I love that. I mean, there's so many people who need that help.
Yeah,
So-
and probably don't even know where to start. I'm
Exactly.
sure.
Well, talking about not knowing where to start, there's so many things on the internet and all around. You've become a trusted source online for debunking a lot of weight loss myths. Is that right? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's just kind of frustrating. You see, it's a bunch of charlatans and quacks out there, because that's essentially what travels quickly, false fear-mongering facts, and so it's hard to combat it because it's like whack-a-mole. So I started making fun of them, making memes about them, making videos. That I make serious videos, and I make funny videos, and I make funny memes, kind of making fun of that stuff. So that's kind of my personality, is just kind of having fun with it. And so that's how I started. And so, yeah, now the latest is obviously the medicines, and kind of debunking all the myths around those, while also not overhyping them at the same time.
Yeah. Well, what's one of the biggest misconceptions you're trying to debunk right now? What do you hear most that you're just like, that's not right at all?
Yeah, well, so I mean, top weight loss stuff just in general is like basically the whole carbs cause obesity, or carbohydrates are inherently fattening beyond their calorie content. Meaning, if you ate 100 calories of, let's say, fat calories like oil, versus 100 calories from, let's say, rice or something, some sort of, or sugar, the thought that the rice would somehow be more, you develop more fat in your body, or adipose tissue, compared to the fat calories. That's just not true. So debunking that whole thing. But then obviously with the newest medicines, it's like, oh, they cause cancer, they cause blindness, they cause stomach paralysis, they cause pancreatitis, all those different things. Those are what I discuss a lot of times.
I have a question once we get going into the GLP-1 specifically about hair loss.
Well, let's talk about GLP-1.
Let's talk
Should
about
we cut into that first? Yeah.
P1s
So,
first. What's his?
what is your take on the GLP-1s? I mean, let me just break it down for you. I'm on a tirzepatide.
I dabble in tirzepatide.
And
I've been on it for a little over a year.
yeah. So I know when we started, or I started a long time ago. I've been on it for almost 3 years now. But yeah, we'd love to hear your take on them and your thoughts.
Yeah, so GLP-1 or glucagon-like peptide 1, natural hormone that comes from the intestines. It was discovered in the 80s, but the effect of what you see from that GLP-1 was more discovered in the 50s and 60s. And it wasn't until the 80s where they actually saw, oh, this was one of these what are called incretin hormones that causes this effect, where they essentially took people and had them drink sugar versus inject sugar into their veins, and then checked how much insulin came in their body, how much their pancreas, the organ in our body that shoots out insulin, which helps get blood sugar into our cells. So they wanted to see, well, what's the effect of injecting glucose versus drinking it? And they saw that people that drank it, they had more insulin. And it was like, oh, there's something about the GI tract. So they called it the incretin effect, some secretion of some hormone in your intestines. That's what the gist is. Well, they tried to figure out, well, can we use this for pharmaceutical? And it took them a long time to figure this out. Our own human or natural GLP-1 gets broken down within a minute or two, so very quickly. So you'll see people saying, oh, take my supplement, it boosts your own GLP-1. They're scams, because you'll right away get broken down. It will not travel to the brain and have the effects that we see from the medicines. So, late 90s, early 2000s, it was actually the Gila monster, a little lizard. The venom they found had about 40% similarity to our own human GLP-1, and they concentrated and figured out the component of it, and turned it into the first GLP-1 approved in 2005, called Byetta or exenatide. And the reason it works is because our bodies don't break it down readily. So that was the first one. It was okay. You had to inject it twice a day. It had a little bit of weight loss to it, but it helped people lower their blood sugars.
And that was mostly for like diabetics, or was it initially for weight loss?
For type 2 diabetes, for diabetes. They always knew that GLP-1 had an effect on appetite with animal models, but rats and whatever other animals that they were testing and looking at, and but it was like, okay, this is going to work for diabetes, and that's obviously a huge industry. So big pharma got involved, scientists got involved. Later on, they started modifying our own human GLP-1 and found that they could modify it to where our bodies don't break it down so quickly. And so over the years, so these things have been out for 2 decades, but the newer versions have just gotten better and better. And more recently, obviously, you mentioned tirzepatide, and then there's semaglutide. Semaglutide is Ozempic and Wegovy. Tirzepatide, Zepbound for weight loss, or Mounjaro for type 2 diabetes. Same stuff. It's just a different branding for indications for the FDA. But these things are powerful. And not only they help people, obviously help their blood sugars, help them lose a lot of weight, but we're starting to find a lot of other effects from them, probably reducing heart attacks beyond the weight loss. While they help people lose weight, there's probably what they call like a cardioprotective effect, anti-inflammatory effect, all sorts of things around the body that these things, that GLP-1 receptors are around the body, these things hit and help likely improve. So I'm, they were always awesome, especially, I was going through med school when the first ones came out, and then through training in the past 10 years, these newer versions come out, and I was very early adopter using them with patients, even off label. And I see just amazing things. So I would call like bullish on these medicines for sure.
Do you feel like, how do you feel about the compounding? I know I've always been on a compounded one. I actually did the actual Ozempic, and I actually didn't lose weight on the actual Ozempic, but I did semaglutide and I lost weight quickly, a compounded one.
Yeah, so I generally don't recommend simply because it's hard to verify the safety. So the way that they source what's called like the active pharmaceutical ingredient, you in order to like because then there's also generic. They can't do generic because they're not off of patent yet. In order to qualify as a generic, you have to go through all sorts of testing to show that it's an equivalent to the brand name version. So whatever, Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, Mounjaro. And it's very possible that, like the one you got is good and pure. It's just it's hard to verify it.
I guess
That's
they're
all.
just
So
so much more financially accessible since
yeah.
insurance doesn't cover mostly like a weight loss.
So with the compounding though, they're able to make it so cheap. So the big argument is like, well then big pharma is greedy. It's like, okay, then what we need to do is just get big pharma to lower the cost because they can make it for super cheap. I mean, they've done studies on this. They could, I don't know, it's like $5 or something like that for a month's worth. They can make it.
Oh my
I
gosh.
feel like that's a whole nother show.
Danielle's very upset hearing this.
I love a deal and now I'm just upset.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal where I mean like we're all trying to push. So I'm big on big pharma because they're the ones that have done the safety studies and try to make it much more pure and safe and all this different stuff. But at the same time, we all are like, well, stop being so greedy. Our patients, only 30% of insurances approve it right now for weight loss. And if you can't do that, you have to do Lilly Direct, which the low dose is like $349 for a month's worth, and then the other doses are $499. It's much better than $1,200 at the pharmacy, but it's cheaper, but not cheap. So my guess is that the compounding will go away, especially well. If compounding goes away, the big gray market is kind of picking up where it's research peptides, super cheap to get it. I never recommend that, especially for the same reasons. But I think what's going to happen is that with competition, I think we're going to start seeing big pharma they have to lower the prices at some point. That's what I think. That's what I hope. Can't guarantee it, but that's what I think we all want that to happen.
I wanted to ask you, I'm sure people listening to our podcast right now is like, those girls are on those things and they're skinny and they're gorgeous and like, I know people are judging right now as they're driving their cars listening to this podcast. I am not someone obviously who has ever been on them, but as far as
Rachel, you're just looking up and down.
they're giving me the stink eye. But I am curious because I do think my friends are just beautiful the way they are, but I get wanting to keep weight off and wanting to be healthy and wanting to be fit. Who are these drugs really right for? Is it anyone who just wants to feel good and look good, or is there a certain patient?
Yeah, so there are certain FDA indications who these have been studied in. So obviously that anybody with type 2 diabetes, and then the way that they define obesity or used to was via the BMI. So anybody with a body mass index of 30 and above, or a body mass index of 27 and above, and what's called a weight-related comorbidity, and that could be PCOS, it could be high blood pressure, hyperlipidemia, whatever, blood cholesterol, whatever, all that stuff, sleep apnea. What they're getting away from the this whole BMI criteria because there are people with what we call like clinical obesity or overweight that don't meet the BMI criteria. So think of somebody, they could be you know, they could be they someone could be leaner and but have like their cholesterol is a little bit higher. They have some manifestations of from their fat tissue. So then you start thinking about those people. I think what we're going to see is in the future we're going to see all sorts of indications. Like I think we're going to see it for PCOS. I think we're going to see it for rheumatoid arthritis, all sorts of things. I think we're then eventually the big one's going to be just straight up cardiovascular disease prevention. That would take a long, super long, expensive study to figure that out. That's what I would see. So like, and then the other thing is people that suffered or have struggled with their weight for a long time, maybe they use diet and exercise to get down, and so they're pretty lean, but they're struggling to keep their weight off. Um, while the FDA wouldn't put that in the label, that's another indication. Like, all right, are we just going to let them regain their weight just to meet the criteria, as opposed to just give them the medicine to keep their weight off? So that's the gist.
Well, I feel like lately it's becoming more normalized for people like myself who are not obese, but like just want to lose like 10 pounds. And that might not be, indicated by the FDA, et cetera, et cetera. But how do you feel about that? Because I had exactly what Jordyn said. I was not obese, but I had like an extra 10, 12 pounds that just as I get older is getting harder to get off.
Perimenopause played a role.
Yeah,
I mean, 100%.
That's how I feel too. I'm currently not on it. It's just those last 10 pounds that I would love to lose. So is that something that you would recommend for someone like me? And if I were to do it, how long would is it like now I just have to do it for the rest of my life? Or is it something I could try for a couple months and then hopefully not have to do again?
I go on and off of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, at this moment, I don't typically recommend it for that purpose, simply because, kind of like what you said, if you start it and you lose, let's say 10, 15 pounds, and you come off of it, the likelihood of you keeping the weight off is very low. So what you'd start getting into is where, people kind of do like, I'm going to try the grapefruit diet or whatever
Yo-yo
diet
diet.
out there. They
Guilty.
lose 10 to
Yeah.
15 pounds. Guilty.
Grapefruit.
You lose that, you lose the 10 to 15 pounds, you stop the diet, you regain the weight. So, as of right now, I'm cautiously optimistic, I should say, or yeah, that I guess that's the term, where I think most people are going to be on these things in the future. I tend to be a little bit more cautious, just because I feel like we need a little bit more data. Because like, if you were to do it, so I think the risks are pretty low, regardless. So you say, whatever, Dr. Spencer, I'm going to take this stuff anyway. I don't really care what you say. The risks are probably similar to someone with type 2 diabetes, someone with obesity. The issue is, if you don't have like a large clinical benefit, meaning like, oh, we don't know if you're going to reduce a heart attack, we don't know if you're going to reduce XYZ, you're already pretty stark healthy, other than for just 10 extra pounds of weight that isn't causing health problems, then those rare side effects that may occur, that we don't really know for sure, but seem to be kind of coming through, those get magnified. So like me, for example, if I go, all right, let me throw you got 10 pounds to lose, you're stark healthy. This is kind of what would you consider it, vanity weight?
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine something bad happens. You have some weird reaction to the medicine, whatever, and all of a sudden, you're like, well, why'd you give me that? I'm going to sue you. And I'm on the stand. The judge goes, so why'd you prescribe this? Well, she said she had 10 pounds.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, but did she have any help? I'd be like, no, but they'd be like, no, boom, do not pass go. You got to pay just a gajillion. So I'm bullish. Like I prescribe a lot of this medicine simply because there's a lot of people that would have clinical benefit. But when it comes to purely vanity weight loss with no, like, I can't justify the clinical benefit, I don't do it. I know a lot of doctors that do it. So it's not like you'd be a bad person for wanting to. I know a lot of patients that do it. I personally just don't prescribe it for that.
Do you, I've been on it for 3 years, almost 3 years. I've lost like 40 to 45 pounds, give or take. How do you feel about like microdosing? Because I have anxiety going off of it, because I know Rachel and I were like, oh, we're hungry, we better take another shot. Like, I get anxious like going off of it. So I heard this whole microdosing thing.
Yeah, so microdosing, actually, my friend Dr. Tina kind of popularized that term. It's so the issue is when you're looking at clinical outcomes of like reduced heart attacks and that stuff, we don't know if the microdoses have that effect, but we do know that microdoses can have an effect on weight. You can see it anecdotally. Like I put people on super low doses and they respond. I've had people lose 100 pounds on the lowest dose of the stuff. So let's say that you're in that camp where you're like, all right, I've lost weight using this. I was on the high dose and I'm trying to come down because like I don't really feel like I need it anymore, but you feel like you need just a tiny little dose. I do it all the time with patients. Again, I don't use the compounded version, but I use like, let's say the vials from Lilly Direct, and they'll use whatever, a milligram or even a half a milligram at times, whereas the lowest dose is usually 2.5 milligrams. So when it comes to like appetite suppression and food noise and trying to keep people's weight off, a microdose absolutely can work.
And is that like a weekly thing when they say microdosing, or is it kind of just all depends?
Could be, you could be using it every once a month. You could be using it every other week, every 10 days. Some people just need just a tiny little bit to keep things at bay. It's kind of interesting.
Can she take the tiny little bit for the rest of her life? When should I tell her she has to stop to protect her? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so you'd stop if you got harmfully thin and frail. So if you're,
Well, I'm not there, so thanks.
You look amazing. No, you look beautiful.
You can keep going.
No, you look amazing. You look beautiful. I mean, for Danielle is a much happier person.
I do.
Healthy
I feel
and
more confident.
fit
My lab work has never looked better. I am more confident. But yeah, I'm definitely not frail. I still can't fit into Jordyn's jeans. So.
Who can?
No, but I think what he's saying, you can theoretically do that microdosing indefinitely to maintain over time.
Yeah, these medicines are meant to be taken indefinitely. I'm very bullish. I think what we're going to see is, you see everybody saying, oh, you should just use them short term and come off. It's like, it's interesting though, when people lose weight with these medicines, they will likely improve their risk of a heart attack more so than if they did with diet and exercise alone. And that really makes people upset. They're like, what? The natural way is got to be better. It's like, I don't know about that. So when you take it indefinitely, it's very possible that you're reducing your risk of all sorts of chronic disease. Now, having said that, it's possible in 20 years we see the signal of, oh gosh, didn't know that, agonizing that GLP-1 receptor, like, stimulating it caused that issue. But, these drugs have been out for, I feel like we should have seen the signal already if that were the case.
Right, like if I was going to grow an extra arm, I would have already grew one.
Yeah.
I know Rach wants to talk how about combat the hair
Oh,
loss.
yeah.
Yeah.
I only lost 20 pounds, maybe 25. And about 3-4 months in, I started having a lot of hair coming out in the shower. And I was like, shit, I didn't think it was going to happen to me. I thought it only happened when people lose like 50, 60 pounds. It came back. But is it the hair loss, is it just from the drug, or is it from not eating enough protein, or is it from just losing weight quickly? What is your opinion?
Yeah, so the thought is that it's from this concept of telogen effluvium. Basically, your hair follicles are staying more in the shedding phase, and it's from stress, and weight loss can be stressful. I have some patients, though, that are telling me that they're losing hair despite not losing weight, though. And so, like, is there something else about the medicine that's making people lose their hair? I feel like it has to be the weight loss. We usually see it come back. Are you off the medicine now?
Oh, honey, I'm never getting off that medicine.
Okay, so you're at maintenance.
I'm at maintenance, yeah.
Okay, and it's coming back. So
I just got some extensions. I'm good.
So that's what we think. It should just be from the weight loss. And now that you're done losing weight, you're not in such a stressful situation. You get out of this telogen effluvium, the hair comes back. Some people don't, though. I've seen it happen, and I do minoxidil a lot of times, Rogaine, but oral pill for patients.
Ironically, she's a hairdresser, and she'd rather be bald and skinny than fat.
Oh, I can figure anything out hair-wise. I'm good. I can't figure out how to stop eating at night, watching Housewives. But. And then also, what's your favorite supplement for the women who have lost their hair? The minoxidil is prescription, but is there anything else?
So people will do like all sorts of B vitamins and things like that. Honestly, it doesn't help because like they usually are getting enough from a regular multivitamin. And getting enough protein. I don't know if collagen protein helps at all. In general, once we get past the basics of like, make sure you're getting enough protein, make sure you're getting a multivitamin, things like that, it goes to minoxidil. I've never seen, nothing else works like minoxidil does.
Yeah.
What about topical ones like the spray minoxidil, or is
Yeah.
it mostly oral?
Yeah, so spray, you usually tell patients that's where we would start. However, most people hate the topical stuff. So the oral stuff, and I do a very low dose, just 1.25 milligrams. It's a half of a tablet of the 2.5. That's the lowest dose. So I use a half of a tablet. Again, you have to use that indefinitely. If you stop it, all that hair that you gained goes away.
I have a question. So side effects, I know people are always worried, like, are you going to be nauseous? I mean, there's definitely been times in the 3 years that I've felt a little nauseous.
She's been hungover for 3 years.
I mean, but whatever. But also, like, I know this is probably TMI, but like the body odor is something that I can't control.
What does it smell like?
Well, you
He's
also
like,
just
wait, that's not from that.
yeah, you also just switched to like didn't you just switch to a
I
natural?
did natural. No, but I've never had body odor until I've actually started this. Like I can go without deodorant and be fine, but now it's like, no, like I have a problem.
It's probably the compounded version.
That didn't happen to me.
I'm kidding. I've never heard that. What does it smell like? Is it
He
like
has never had someone say they stink. You are the first person.
like it's like your armpits or
Yeah,
something?
like my armpits.
That's interesting. I'm gonna ask my group. I have tons of patients.
Like I don't know if it
people.
affects like my hormones that like make me have
It
that
could.
body odor, and also I kind of do feel like my period goes like wonky sometimes.
Yeah, no, there's a potential for that. People with PCOS and some of these other patients, things change very quickly, and it's not the weight loss. They start the medicine, and so it's not out of the realm. There could have been some hormonal changes. That's kind of interesting. I bet there's a few posts on Reddit somewhere right now. I guarantee. I'm gonna look that up
If
afterwards.
not, I'll make one.
Yeah, down the Reddit rabbit hole. Dr. Nadolski, there's plenty of people that still want to lose weight, and you are the specialist, and they're afraid to go on these medications. What is your biggest tip for people just looking to do it the old-fashioned way?
Yeah, so like if they want to I don't want to take any medicine. So this is where we look at their diet. Number one, it's this by far the most, the nutrition by far compared to physical activity or exercise. So we try to figure out, all right, do we need to have them track calories? And some people hate doing that. They've done that before. It makes them neurotic about that. But they're eating way more than what their body needs, or they're eating enough if they're not gaining weight for their current body size. So then you go, all right, can we find ways to cut out calories in ways that is not going to be so miserable? So are you going to Starbucks every morning and getting a Frappuccino? Are you drinking sugary sodas? Just those are the low-hanging fruits. And then once you go past that, it's like, okay, are you struggling with nighttime eating and snacking things? So there's some of that. And then there's also just, let's do a journal and track, have this person kind of weigh their foods and figure that out. Again, if they've done that before and have been neurotic about that before, that's probably not going to work, and that can make things worse. But some people have never ever done that and go, oh gosh, the pasta, actually I used 3 servings instead of, I thought it was just like 1, that type of thing. So that's usually what we do at first. If they're sedentary, we try to get them to walk more and get more steps. Protein can be potentially a little bit more satiating, making you feel a little bit fuller. And leaner foods, that type of thing. So that's the gist of what we do.
So our friend Stacy, one of our pals, brought over this morning chocolate chip cookies and biscuits for breakfast. So that was the wrong thing to eat for breakfast. Is that what you're saying?
It's definitely not going to help our journey.
He's saying a calorie is a calorie. just
Count it.
right? A calorie is a calorie
Yeah.
at the end of the
Well,
day.
the issue is that those are so easily overeaten that they essentially make you, you'll eat more of those calorie for calorie compared to broccoli and chicken or whatever. So that's the issue.
Dr. Nadolski, are you doing telehealth still?
Yeah, so all 50 states, my program it's called Vineyard. You can go to joinvineyard.com, and we have dietitians, and you get your own dietitian, your own doctor. It's your own kind of personal concierge-ish weight loss doctor that does all the cardiometabolic stuff. Yeah.
Is it vineyard or vineyard?
Vineyard, like
Should be
drinking.
Should be Vineyard.
Vineyard. Okay, got it.
Join Vineyard.
Yep.
And then what about your Instagram and any of your other social platforms?
Yeah, Instagram is Dr. Nadolski, DrNadolsky. TikTok's Dr. Spencer, DrSpencer. Facebook, Dr. Spencer Nadolski. We have a podcast called Docs Who Lift. Me and my brother, who's also he's an endocrinologist and obesity doctor specialist, really into lifting, helping people work out, talk about these medicines all the time.
All right, Dr. Nadolski, thank you so much for being with us today and for all your insight. Like we said, this was a really requested episode, and I feel like all this information and advice is really going to help our listeners. So
Very
thank you for
good.
being here. And
Yes,
we will
thank
talk to
you so
soon.
much.
Thanks. I hope you figure out the body odor thing.
I hope she does too.
Guys, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was
I mean,
great.
That was fun.
He's
He
a
seems
cutie.
like
I know.
such a cutie.
And he's a brother.
Oh boy. The pals are suckers for cute doctors.
We are. We love a cute doctor.
Telehealth.
Everyone's dialing in from Los Angeles.
JoinVineyard.com.
Rachel telehealth him on a Saturday night.
Oh, anyway, I had one more question.
No, but he did have really important,
No, he's good.
good
Great
and
advice.
useful information.
He did.
also.
Great advice.
All right, well, let's play our game.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right, this is a kind of random one, not just about weight loss.
Okay.
Never have I ever had the oops, I forgot my lunch moment because my appetite disappeared. Me.
What?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have that
at
with
work.
anxiety.
I always make fun of people like, how did you just forget to eat?
Oh, I
Don't
do
do
with
that.
anxiety.
Go on a GLP-1, you'll forget to eat.
Okay.
Yeah. Why am I shaking?
Never have I checked the fridge multiple times out of habit, even though I wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
Me.
I'm sure, yeah.
Just standing there. Being like, never have I ever hooked up with someone I met on vacation.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Never have I ever flirted with someone just for free drinks.
Me.
Never.
Not really.
Huh?
You don't like a free drink?
I didn't flirt. They just gave it to me. But I was young.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Never have I ever lied about being drunk just to cover up something wild I did.
Wait, you pretended you were drunk when you really weren't?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, pretended you were drunk?
Yeah.
Or like,
I don't
did
have to
something
pretend.
bad.
Yeah. I'm like, Heather, what are you pretending about?
Okay. Never have I ever tried role play, but it went hilariously wrong. I've never role played.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Rachel, you've definitely.
I am not
role-played.
an actress.
No, but you. Well, never mind.
You know what, girls? I'm older than you, so let's just move on.
Never have I ever played strip poker.
I've never played
I've never played.
poker.
Or a similar game.
No.
Oh, Rachel.
Okay.
Okay. In your maid outfit or something?
Is Dallas Cowboy cheerleader? If I get the suitcase, it'll be the maid.
Oh my God.
Hear that, Justin?
Never have I accidentally sexted the wrong person.
No.
Nope. Never have I ever had a friends with benefit situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. No one? Oh God, I'm running out of questions. Never have I ever stayed in bed all day just to avoid responsibilities.
Oh, definitely.
Impossible. I can't.
All right.
Pre-kids.
Yeah, right.
Never have I ever
You're gonna lose if you ask your own question.
Never have I ever lied about a GLP-1. That you're on GLP-1.
Oh, I lied.
Great.
Once.
Rachel, okay. Dare to dip or spill the pudding?
What should
Dare
we
to
do?
dip.
All right, fine.
Ooh.
I don't like dares. If I don't like it, I'm gonna
I'll
switch.
read it to you.
If I don't like it, I'm gonna do
Sing
truth.
your favorite childhood
uh-uh.
TV theme song
Oh,
as long as you can.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
I don't even know
The
that
heart
song.
is true. You're
That's
my
for
pal
you.
and my confidant.
You don't know
so
it?
old.
Golden Girl.
That's why I'm not singing it. You know what?
We are the Golden Girls.
All right, well, that's it for today, guys.
That's it. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special 2-part episode of the Pudding Pals podcast. Please like and subscribe or share it with a friend who might love the information, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Welcome to the Pudding Pals.